In this piano tutorial, we will be learning the song You Know My Name by Tasha Cobbs in the key of G major. And like always, I'll be sharing my approach to the song using some gospel or jazz chord substitutions and passing chords, okay? So let's start off with the first verse. It's a very simple progression. It basically has two chords, right? It has the 1 and the 4, right? If we play it without any passing chords or anything in between, right? We will start off on the 1. He knows my name. And then we go to the 4. He knows my name. And then back to the 1, right? And that repeats again. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Right? Very easy progression to learn. But this allows us to be creative with what we do in between these two chords and what extra chords we include in this progression, right? So one of the things I like doing, obviously going back to that voice leading concept that I like to use when I play, right? Where we have the melody on the as the last note in our voicing, right? If we pay attention to the melody of this section of the song, it goes, right? It goes G, A, B, and then E, or 1, 2, 3, then the 6. But what we can do, since we're going from the 1 to the 4, we can basically go from the 1 to the 2 to the 3 and then the 4, and it would sound something like this. Right? So I played the 1, which is G major in this voicing, then the 2, which is A minor, and then for the 3, which is usually a B minor, right? Instead of playing a B minor, I changed it into a 1 over 3, which is G over B. And then for the 4, we played a C major 7, right? So and then we just go back to the 1. There's actually something that we have the option of doing once we're on the 4, right? So I'm going to play it and then I'll explain it, right? So we go, right? So it's sort of a grace note that leans on the 4 of the 4, right? So in this case, the 4 is C, but the 4 of C is F. So we're using this F sort of as an anchor point to form this grace note. And all I did to play this grace note is once we're on C, I basically play F and A, and then I return to this D and G, and then I basically play this E, right? So all together, that would be the grace note right there. So it would sound like this. And you can actually do the same grace note on the 1, right? Using C as the anchor point, right? Right, so that which I just did right now is actually using the same theory of using that 4 of the 4. So what I did here is basically continue the same pattern, right? We went from the 1 to the 4, but I basically borrowed the 4 from C major, which is F, and I used it sort of as a passing chord or as a substitution for C, right? if we pay attention to this voicing, we can actually notice that there is a C major embedded within the voicing, right? So we get this F major 9, which includes the C major. So once again, what I did was play the 1, he knows my name, and then I went to the F as a passing chord or substitution, and then back to the C, he knows my name, he knows my name, da, 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 right? Right, and as I said in the beginning of this video, we also have options to include substitutions for the chords that are originally in place, right? So instead of playing simply a 1, we can actually substitute the 1 for a 6, right? So in this case, what I did was, after I returned to the 1 from this first verse, right? He knows my name, he knows my name. I went to the 1, and then I substituted this 1 for the 6, right? In this case, I'm voicing it as a E minor 11. And then I return to the 1 to get back to the 4, right? And I want to show you this voicing right here, which is I like the way it sounds. It's as you can see, it has a dominant function, right? This G7 or G13, it's basically just a G with a flat 7, right, or minor 7th, and then in my right hand I'm playing an E minor, and that basically covers the 3rd and the 13th right here, and obviously the octave up here. So once again, he knows my name, he knows my name, and then down to the 6, back to the 1, he knows my name, and back to the 4, then to the 4 of the 4, the da 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 da, right, and back to the 1. And oh, how he walks with me, right? And this second verse right here, it's basically the same progression, but we can change it up a bit, right? So let's do this. We're going to start off on the 4, and oh, how he walks with me. And then the next chord is going to be a 6, but we're not going directly to the 6. We're actually going to form a bridge, or form passing chords to get to the 6, and a very common passing chord that I always use is a 7-3-6. But instead of just playing, right, that way that we play that 7-3-6, I actually want to voice it in a way that the melody stands out. Okay, so if we pay attention, it goes, and oh, how he walks with me, and oh, how he talks with me, right? So I'm maintaining that melody within the 7-3-6. So let's break down that 7-3-6 real quick. So we started off on the 4, and oh, how he walks with me, and oh, 7, right, this F sharp half diminished or minor 7 flat 5, which is simply an A minor over F sharp with the minor 7th. Okay, so, and oh, how he, right, and on that he, we're on the 3 in this case. We're going to play a B7 flat 9, and this is the way that I voice it. We can actually voice it as another altered chord, which would be a G over this B7, right? Sounds kind of dissonant, but I really like the way it sounds when it resolves to the 6, right? You can sense that tension and release, okay? So, and oh how he walks with me, da 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 da, or da 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 da, right? When we're back on that 6, and then we can use this passing chord again on the 1, da 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 da, to get to the 4, da da. And then we can actually use this 2 on A minor, right? A minor 11th as a substitute for the 4, right? So instead of going back to the 4 or staying on the 4, we can alternate with this A minor, okay? So once again, da 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 da. Right? Let's go over that move right there. All I did was play the flat 3rd, then the 3rd, the 5th, the 6th, and then I played again this passing chord on the 1. Da, 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 da. Then 2. Da, 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 da. Right, so let's move on to the next part of the song, which goes so now I pour out my heart to you, right? Basically the same progression. We're playing a 4 to a 1. Da da da. We can still do this substitution for the 4 on F. Da 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 da. And we're back to the 1. Right, let's go over that small move that I did there. Very simple. I'm basically alternating. I'm doing this rhythm with my right hand to walk up to the 4 from the 1. So, and then I finish off with a grace note. We can actually include a couple of inner movements as well in this part, right? Where we go from the 4 to the 1, right? And as you can see, these are basically the shell notes, right? We're playing the E of that C major with the C, and then we're playing the D of G major with B, right? Alright, so let's move on to the other section, which has a slightly different progression, which is the part that says no fire, da 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 da, you can turn me, da 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 da. Right, so we're playing sort of an ascending progression, right, where we start off on the 2. And the fire can burn me. Then we play a 3, which is technically a 1 over 3. Da da da, da 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 da. Then a 4, da da da, and then a 6. Da 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 da, and that repeats. So again, we have different options we can do in between all of these chords. Right, so let's start off on the 2, right? And on fire, da 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 da. Right, I'm using this voicing for the 3. which is sort of a G sus2, right? Jesus, right? Very funny. Over 3, G sus2 over 3, and then instead of going directly to the 4, we can again always fall back on this progression, or sorry, on this substitution or passing chord on the 1 to land on the 4. So da 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 da, passing chord 4, da da, right? And there we can include another type of 7-3-6. In this case, I'm playing an F sharp minor 11, then a B7 sharp 5, and then we land on the 6, which I'm voicing as an E minor 11, right? Right, we can even include this passing chord right before the 6. So slowly, sort of to fit in with the lyrics, right? It goes da-da-da, da-da-da, sorry. Wait, I messed that up. Let's go back to the 4. Again, I'm including even more passing chords there. In this case, all I did was basically continue down that circle of fourths or cycle of fifths, right? Where I'm going up and forth. So da 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 da. So da 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 da. I'm losing track of the timing there, so let's go back to the beginning of the verse. Da 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 da. I went to this 2, and then 5, 1, and then back to the 2. There's one more passing chord that I want to share with you guys. Right before we get to the 2, right? It's a very common gospel passing chord, and it sounds something like this, right? So all I'm doing is playing a B minor in this first inversion over this A, and then all I'm doing is bringing down this A down a half step, and this F sharp down a half step, okay? Right, and I'm doing this grace note from F to F sharp, and then we finish on the 2, right? Sort of a passing chord to get to the 2. So it would fit in somewhere like this. So da, you know my name. Sorry. Da, da, da. Right there, that's where it would basically fit for this song. Okay, so that's basically the whole song. What I'm going to do now, as always, is play the whole song without any interruptions, and I'll include a MIDI file to this section of the video in the description. That way you can download it and study it on your own time, and also support the channel. Okay.